Hello, how do I make a thumbnail for my YouTube video? For the YouTube video, the thumbnail is 1280 pixel by 720 pixel at 300 dpi, and I like to make a thumbnail for YouTube video, a thumbnail or cover image for the blog article that is related to that video, so that and a pin for Pinterest to market the blog article. So I have templates that I created, and it took me a while to create those templates. So I'll open the templates, but I'll open other folders as well so that I have those. So one that I open is my photos. I have two ways or so to take picture of myself. One is asking my husband or my daughter to take picture of me. The second one is recording myself, few seconds or so of myself posing still, and then I will take it to CapCut and use a seal card image extract to export a seal card or to extract pictures out of there, and I will remove that BG for the pictures that I took or the one that I extracted in CapCut. I will remove the background there, and then I will save it. So I have those pictures saved, and it's a little bit of work having those pictures, but I can reuse them. Now I'm opening a folder where I have my templates of the YouTube thumbnails, and I'll open another folder for the images that I will use related to the content that the thumbnail that I'm going to create is about. So these templates are created in Inkscape, and I'm going to use Inkscape to create my thumbnails. It is a free vector software that I use. It takes time to create thumbnails in it, but it is free, and it allows me to use a vector software, design software, to pretty much improve my graphic design skill. So I use it, and here the templates came grouped together, and I'm ungrouping it. And this version is an old version. Currently I'm using a newer version, and the feature is a little bit different, but pretty much I ungroup it, and some of the images or text were under layers, so I undo and redo it again, and that fixed the issue. So now I have my layers. When I open Inkscape, I'll add layers, and on top of the layers, if you look at the right side of the screen where I have layers, on top of it there is three sheets, and then you have layer, Shift Control L. Yeah, I will use that, or I will use the plus at the bottom of that right side of the screen to add layers, and I'll add about 6 layers or so. And on layer 3, I click on layer 3 to select it, and then I drag my templates there, and that's how I drag my templates to that layer 3. So depending on the thumbnail I'm going to work on, if the text that I have on the templates is now aligned with the thumbnail I'm creating, then I'll update the text, and then I'll save that template for that particular topic so that I can reuse it. So at this point I'm looking for my keyword. Spreadsheet is my keyword library, and depending on the content I'm creating the thumbnail for, I like to use the keyword or the phrase people are searching online related to that particular thumbnail. I like to use that specific phrase. And sometimes I do the keyword in Pinterest as well to see what Pinterest is suggested, to see the phrase search there in Pinterest, and I will use those in the pin as well. So in some way, when if I had to put those things on the thumbnail templates, it's like I'm creating another template. And this process take time creating, and that's why I took the time to create the templates. Everything things on that template I created myself, save them and put them together. It took me a while to create those templates, and I can just change the text. And since I have different categories, topic that I talk about or create content about, I like to create template for each one of those categories and subtopics. So if I do not have one available, then I will change the phrase, the sentences, the text in the template, and then save as a template for that topic. But the color, the text, font, those are pretty much set. I don't change those. I just change the text. And that's one way to create the templates, to have your color, your font that you like, and have the layout that you like, and you can just change the text and the image you put on it. Anything you are going to do multiple times is good if you can have a step in the process save as a template. That way you won't have to start doing it from scratch. And this is how I create my thumbnails. I save a certain steps as a template and just update what needs updating in it. But every few times I will see something that I can improve on the thumbnail, and then that will take quite a bit of time to improve all the templates, because there is multiple templates there, multiple Pinterest templates, few YouTube thumbnails, and few website cover image template as well. I will update if what I'm improving, the mistakes is on each one of those templates, then I will take the time to improve it on most of them and then save it. So that means things that I save all to that point will need updating. I don't go back and update them, but I'll update it each time I open a template to work with. But sometimes it's just like non-stop updating templates each time I'm about to use it. But at some point, that template will be good enough that we don't have to update it for a while. But I'm trying to have, the tests available that I don't have to keep changing the text each time. So by choosing to create multiple videos, by choosing to publish multiple videos, YouTube videos a week now, I changed the strategy a little bit by combining multiple subtopics on one template, so that I have those tests already there that may not require updating. But I think in this template I only have one YouTube thumbnail, so each time I'm creating a thumbnail related to this topic, if the content is different, I will change the text in it. And here I'm trying to search the topic in Pinterest to see what Pinterest is suggesting, to give me an idea how people are searching it here, and I can use that terminology on the pins in the templates. Because I have multiple pins templates, I have those tests there that Usually I'll find one that I won't have to change the text when I create a new content related to that subtopic. But for the thumbnail, YouTube thumbnail, I will change the text because I only have one template there. But now on the current thumbnails that template that I'm using, which is not the one that I'm showing the video, I duplicate the YouTube thumbnails that I have there, template that I have there. I duplicate it for the subtopic. The main subtopic, I just add it to them. That way I won't have to change too much of the text when I'm using that template for that specific subtopic. And what I'm saying, for instance, is you can see I have raw material inventory, I have finished product, and things like that. So I can just add, I can duplicate the template that is good enough, and have one for raw material, one for finished product, and so forth. That way I won't have to keep changing the text on a single template every time, but I can have multiple templates of that one, and put those different subtopic in it as a text, as a holding place, so that if I create a content related to raw material, I have that text already. I just need to add image and my picture for the YouTube thumbnail. If I create a content later for finished product, I already have the text in a second template there. I just need to add a finished product image and my picture in it. So I think it's going to go a little bit faster. You can see I have one thumbnail there for YouTube, the one that says Form 1125A. It's cost of goods sold 2023 is just one there for YouTube. But by multiplying it there for the subtopic, because I have multiple categories, about 5 of them categories, but subtopic within each category have their own templates, or have its own template. So within each subtopic template, I can just multiply the website cover templates and the YouTube thumbnail template as well, and just put those subtopic in it as a text. That way I won't have to keep changing too much by just reusing one template over and over and over, like in this instance. So I'm adding maybe beginning raw material, and as you can see, the font that I'm using is there already. If you look at the left side of the screen top bar, I have Shrikened as the font size. The size is somewhat fixed as well. I'm using 32 point, is in the top bar as well, and I have 3 rows for the text because I want 3 words. That way it's big enough and not too wordy. On the thumbnail is 2 to 3 words is what I like to have. Sometimes I might have 4, but I have a spot for 3. So, and in this sense, did you see the way I took the text that was there before? I could easily have duplicated this one to the side and then add this text in it. That way I have the other one, and the other one is something I create every year for tasks. Therefore, I think therefore when I'm going to create it, I have it, but I think I have the template for the task topic as well, and this one is for inventory management category. So it was okay to change it, but I didn't have to. So by having beginning year inventory, it could easily be a second template in this template, a second YouTube template, thumbnail template in this major template, and then I can duplicate it again to have a third one and add another text if I have one in the keyword bank available, add it as well, and so forth. So now I'll change the text for the thumbnail. So the thumbnail template is ready, and I'm going to put that text in the blog thumbnail as well, and I will need to use the right one. I have different ones available, and in the form I have one for listing products cover image, and I have one for blog article cover image, and I have a smaller version as well. But the best size is 600 by 450 pixel at 200 dpi, and Inkscape by default is 96 dpi. Therefore, when you are designing those templates, for instance, for 600 dpi is 192 pixel at 96 dpi, equivalent to 600 pixel at 200 dpi. So you have to do some calculation to find the right, knowing the size you want at 200 dpi, you have to do a calculation to find the equivalent at 96 dpi to design your frame, so that your frame can match the final size at 200 dpi that you are looking for. That's something to keep in mind if you are using Inkscape. So I put the stroke, I put white around the stroke, and I think our logo is a little bit too big there, that I could make it smaller, but it's not selecting, so that means something bigger is selecting. So I will need to ungroup more to detach pieces from each other. And control a shift and drag it in to decrease the size. And when I click minus on my keyboard, I will be able to zoom far away that I can see, and here I can change some pins title as well. And when you click on that A, it will allow you to change the text. Because I want to keep my font and my color, when I click in it, I will start tapping before I delete everything, so that it does not refer back to the original font and size and color, but it works with my size, my font, and my color that I have there already. That's how I update the text in it. I stop tapping before I delete what was there, so that I can keep the formatting of what was there. And with control, and when you click shift, you select, it will select different things, and we can select the template and align things based on that template as well. And I'm on the far left, on the far right, I'm clicking on the alignment that will allow me to reach that goal, while last is selected in the drop down menu of relative to in the left side. So I update that one, and I like to update this one as well, because I'm using a task template. I can just use it and change those tests in it to have it ready for this subtopic of inventory management. And in some way, I will say I'm creating a template thumbnail, because I will make those updates, save it before I create a thumbnail so that I can save this template. That way I won't have to redo all of this the next time I create a content related to this specific topic. And it takes time, and this video is not speed up. You can see all the steps that I'm taking, all the steps in real time. And knowing that everything that we do in our business takes time, I just know that it's going to take me time to do it. I must well get it done and not complain about it. If you are using a paid software, they might have some feature that will allow you to do a little bit faster. I believe Canva might make it easier for you to do a little bit faster, saving time, but you will pay there. And I like to just use Inkscape to do it so that I have control over what I'm doing. The font is a free font from Google, and the color, I chose those colors myself. I create my own color combination that I save, and I just use that to create my thumbnails. And I tend to have the color X code or number on top of the template as well. But when you click on the text at the bottom of the screen, you have fill, you have stroke on the left side of the screen at the bottom. If you click on the color there, it will show you the color number. And the color number for the template that I'm near is on top, A04800. And that is pretty much the same color of the text that I brought. So instead of tapping that text again, I just drag it. I duplicate it, right click and you duplicate, and I just drag it to this template. Because that template, I mean, it could have been about the same size template that I duplicated from. So this one is another template shape. So I'm going to copy this one by right click and duplicate, and what I hold Control, I'll just drag from that one. That way I won't have to resize. It's already that is for that size template that I could. And the Pinterest pin is 1000 by 1500 pixel at 200 dpi. But the template that I have a little rectangle on top with white fill that I put the text in, so the image won't show up on that side. The image, it will be behind that white rectangle, so that the text can be clear to read. And that is just my Pinterest templates that I design and work with. And I have a little bit, the colors are different, the template is the same, the colors are different, and I have it's a slight different shape in the template. This one is a rectangular inside. The one we came from, I think the rectangular inside was a little bit round at the edge, I believe. The one before that, the rectangle inside was quite small and rounded as well. So we have the font on top. When I click on the fill, it'll put me in the fill side, and then I can just type that font that I have on top. You can see how useful it was for me to have that font on top. It just tells me that that is the font that I wanted in that template. and I can just tap it back. And here I'm tapping the test again, and I have templates for free download, and this template is for that. The bottom has icon that I designed myself to have in it. Although you can find a free commercial use one in I don't know, there is a website that has those free for commercial use icon that you can use, but I think, but yeah, I didn't use it in my templates. I just designed my own in Inkscape, save those pieces separately, and then use them to design the templates by piecing them together. So by selecting those, I group them so that I align it properly, horizontally and vertically within the box. So by grouping them, it won't show the color. So I will just click on the fill to show the color. I size it to fill the box, and then I can just go to Shift Control A to see the alignment at the right side, and I can just use it to align it vertical, and you can see I'm using a vertical and horizontally, but you can see those are free download templates. Therefore, I have a spreadsheet related to this topic that I can, I can create a pin for to market those free downloads. So I just try to update the spreadsheet for them as well. Update the text in those templates as well to just have it done already. And by clicking on that arrow, I'm going to get out of the test mode to go to the selection mode, and I can just align things properly. Because it's selecting everything, but not everything that is aligned properly. If you click on it twice, it could select just one, or you can go to group and object and ungroup there as well. And now I can group them if I want to. Okay, I use that to have equal space between them. Then I can group them together and then put the fill and the stroke back on the whole group, for the whole group. So and that's a free download template as well. And I duplicate that one because the box is about the same. The color, I just have to change the color, but it's just faster for me to just duplicate the text and tap the font, the color back in it. So by ungrouping, I can pull it out of the other one, and it's already in some way aligned as well. And I can just put the color by looking at the top where I have the color code. I can just type it in. Now and that is ready. By selecting that rectangle, I can just align them proportionally to the rectangle. And our pins templates are ready, and on top I have some there that I can update later as well, unless I choose to update them now. So I'm going to go wider here. Let's see. Okay, so I just update the bottom templates, and I like to save it for this subtopic. So you can go under File, Save As. And you find the folder you want to save it in a way that you can find it later when you are looking for it. And the previous one that I work in, usually it will open that folder for me, and that one is Finance, Stocks Trading, but we want to be in Inventory. And as you can see, I have created templates before for that topic, but again, they may not be up to date, like changing or improving the templates. Then I will have to recreate it, or I have templates that are quite different from the topic that I'm working on. Then I will just create a folder for that subtopic so that I can save a template for it, easy for finding later. And I like to save it by month. That way, if I have multiple iterations, I'll know the latest one that I work on that I can use. And I will save it by day as well. And to save it, you will use plain SVG. By default, it will use Inkscape SVG, but I like to use plain SVG so that it can be used outside of Inkscape software as well. Like if I chose to use another software, and I will save it again as EPS so that it can be used by other software like Affinity Design software, for instance. And I like to save it as a PNG or JPEG. The old version, Inkscape only gives you the option to save as PNG. So you will, under File, you will click on Export, and you will save the selection as a PNG. And I like to do that way I can open the image to look at it to see if that's the one that I wanted to use before I drag it to the template, if I'm not sure about the template that I wanted to use. And by saving it as EPS, it might take a few seconds to go through, and then I'll click on Export PNG image. While selection is selected for the whole things, and the image size, I 100 GPI is there, I will just copy the location folder and paste, and it will save as a PNG. Now I have my template updated, ready for that subtopic, inventory management content. Sometimes I might have multiple iterations of that template, because when I bring image in to create the thumbnail, if I find few things that I can improve on after I save the thumbnails, I will take those images out and I will select the whole templates again and save it as another iteration of that day in a subfolder or underneath that month or and day folder. That way I know I save that update, so that I don't have to make that update again next time I open that template. Sometimes it's good to create a thumbnail, and with all the adjustments you make to the templates, and then after you delete your images out of the template, you can save the template. But I like to save the template changes that I made to the template, so that if the software closed by mistake, I can at least I save the template. So now that I'm on, now I'm going to create my thumbnail. So far we create the thumbnail, or see my create a thumbnail. The thumbnail template was there, but we update it. So I like to say I create a template for that subtopic. So far we create a thumbnail template for that subtopic. So now we are going to create a thumbnail for the content. So from layer 3 I went to layer 1, so that I can put the image at the bottom of the template. And in here I could either use an image JPEG, or I can use a PDF template, a PDF form document. So I save some document there as a PDF, and it will open it like that for you. PDF import, you will click OK. It will ask you, if you have multiple sheets, it will ask you how many sheets you want to import. So, and you can just select one, and here I think I only have one sheet, so I click OK, and it will, and PDF is going to be like a vector as well. It's not going to be blurred, and usually it will be transparent. And sometimes I like to put a rectangle solid color underneath it and group it together, but it's not necessary, but I like to do that sometimes, and I believe that's what I intend to do here. I add a layer below layer 1, and I'm dragging the rectangle underneath it. It will put the text, the PDF that I drag to the software, it will put it on top. And having the rectangle wide enough to contain the PDF, I will select both by holding Shift and click on the PDF as well. I change the color to white, and now I select both, and I'll go to Object and I'll group them. From there, I could duplicate it to have multiple versions, one for a Pinterest pin, one for YouTube, one for website image. But it seems I just decided to use this one. So we have the image. Because the image is on layer 1 while the template is on layer 3, the image will be below the frame, and my frame is the size of YouTube thumbnail that I'm going to create my thumb in 1280 pixel by 720 pixel at 300 dpi. So I enlarge my image to cover the thumbnail, but again it depends on what part of the image I want to show in the thumbnail. So I'll make those adjustments to just have the right information or the right image within the frame, instead of making the image small to fit within the frame. I will just use a big and just moving it around, sizing it a little bit to include just what I want in it. That is one way I like to do it. And I will just move the image around to have it the way I want it, depending on what I wanted to show, because I have text there and I have text underneath I have text on the image, and I have text on the frame as well. So if I want to show a text from the image, I might have to move my text from the frame a little bit, or move the image in a way that I can show some text around. I move the thumbnail text down a little bit so that I can move the image a little bit to show some text from the image. The beginning of the text on the image, I can show a little bit of that. So now that I'm satisfied with that, I will bring my picture and I will put my picture on a layer above the image that I have there. Therefore, sometimes I might have to add another layer if I have layer there, but I have layer 2 that I could use. Right now I'm still on layer 1, and let's see how that will play out. So I found the image that I want to use. I will drag it, and I'm behind the frame, and that's what I want, and I'm above the image, that's what I want as well. So the image could have been on layer 7, or I move it to layer 7, I'm not sure, but the image could be on layer 1 as well. But since the image was there before I drag my picture, it put my picture on top of it. But I like to have every single one of those things on its own layer. And because I tend to put my image on the far right, I tend to use images that I pose sideways to take, and usually I do not use this type of image. I will use image that I'm facing the text, But you can see I click on the frame. Automatically, if you look at the far right, I have under selection, is showing me the size, but I'm looking at where I'm going to save my thumbnail. So I will copy the location, and I'm creating folders for it. Sometimes I'll create subfolders to have for YouTube web, a pin. Sometimes I'll put them all under thumbnails. They all have different sizes. Sometimes in the file name, I will add some symbol at the end to see some letters at the end to show which one is YouTube, which one is website one, which one is pins as well. If I'm putting everything under thumbnail, inside thumbnail folder without a subfolder in it, like the way I'm doing it right now. And I'll copy that location and paste it in the window to open that location. So now I'm going to copy the keyword phrase, which can be the title of the content as well. I can copy that and use it as the title, the file name of that thumbnail. So my thumbnail, I like to have them keyword optimized as well, because I noticed that for websites, images, they can come up in Google. When people search image and your image answer what they are looking for, they can find your image. Therefore, I like to title my images and thumbnails appropriately related to the content, using a searchable phrase related to that content. So you can see we have the image size at the right side of the screen, 1280 by 720 at 300 GPI, and selection is selected. So when I click on the frame, is going to save just what is inside that frame, including the frame itself. It won't save things outside of that frame because I'm saving as PNG. So now I duplicate that PDF format, and I'm going to create either a pin or a cover image for the blog article. For the forum we are going to put it in, we might have to resize it a little bit. So by holding Ctrl Shift, I'll drag it in to make it a little bit smaller. And while it's selected, we can see the size on the far right of the screen as well. Is 579 by 155 pixel at 200 GPI. And again, I just want to show a portion of it. And by clicking on plus, I can zoom to see better, and clicking on minus, I can zoom further away to see from far as well. we can align it to have it in the middle of the frame. And as you can see, we only select the frame, and this frame is 300 by 300, pretty much 300 by 299 at 200 DPI. But I think 600 by 450 pixel at 200 DPI is the right size to use. I noticed that these smaller ones sometimes can have a blurred image, but I do have that 300 by 300 as well, and I have 600 by 450 pixel at 200 DPI as well, and that is more what I tend to use. So now we save the image for the blog article. We are going to work on the pin. And we have the text that correspond to the content we are creating the thumbnails for. We will use the pin template that has that text in it already, and we can just position our image in it to save it, to save the template. And as you can see, by clicking on the frame, we have 1000 by 1500 pixel at 300 DPI, and we are just going to save the frame selection. You make sure selection is selected on the far right, and then we just save that template by clicking on export as. And in this version, we will click export as well after we put the location. So I'm copying the searchable word that we found on Pinterest that will go well with that topic or subtopic. We can click on export to actually export it, and that is an old version of Inkscape. The current version is a little bit different. You don't need to click on export twice, but in this version you'll click on export as to start the process of exporting, and then you'll click on export after you choose the location. So now that I saved those, and the images are PNG. For YouTube, the PNG, if you upload a PNG thumbnails to YouTube, it show up as transparent in my opinion, unless they update it. Last time that I checked, it will show up as a transparent. Therefore, I like to convert it to a JPEG before I upload it to YouTube. So I will use pen.net, and under pen.net, under file, I will click on file, open, and then I will open the location of the thumbnails. I'll go to view, and under view, in fact we don't even need to go to view, we'll just go back to file and we will save. And when you go back to file, you click on save as. You'll save it as JPEG. You just have to remember to click on the file format and choose JPEG and save it as JPEG. And then I'll do the same for the website image as well. But the new version of Inkscape gives you the option to save as JPEG. Therefore, you do not need to convert the PNG into JPEG using another software. You can just save it in Inkscape as a JPEG, and that's what I've been doing now. And we will do the same for the blog article as well. I like to create a subfolder for the JPEG. That way I know which one is PNG, which one is JPEG. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. And as you can see, we have our thumbnail and we have our website image as well, and we have our pin. That is how I create my thumbnails for my YouTube videos. At this stage though, if you have a similar video created and if you duplicate the YouTube thumbnails, you can, if you have the image available for that video and they are the same subtopic, you can just create a thumbnail quickly for the next video, for that video. And what I like to do is just keep the same image of myself and I will just drag it to the template, to the next template that has the image that I'm creating the thumbnail for, the for a similar content. I'll just use the same image of myself. And because I have multiple categories, and that in a lot of cases those two content, for instance, won't be published back to back. There will be other content published between, and sometimes even if they will be published back to back, I'll use the same image of myself that I drag to the software. But again, sometimes it takes time to have my image. If I record a video of myself, I'll take them to CapCut and just cut them there and export them as images, and then I will remove that BG website and I'll just remove background and save them as transparent images. That way I have my images ready, and when I'm creating my thumbnails, I just have my image
for your
to
time.
work with.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
We thank you very much for watching our videos. We thank you very much for all your comments, and we thank you very much for all that subscribe. We thank you very much for your time. We thank you for watching. We thank you very much for watching our videos. We thank you very much for all your comments, and we thank you very much for all that subscribe to our channel. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways you can save money and different ways you can make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. On our blog, ninasoup.com, you can find free financial templates and business templates that you can download to manage your finances and to manage your business. They are free. You don't need to subscribe or submit your email to access them and download them. We have liberdownload.com, where you can purchase financial templates and business templates to manage your finances and to manage your business. I'm Afiavi Liberman, creators of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel and ninasoup.com. our blog. Thank you.